We have a problem, Batman. Gotham needs you again.
Kratos, known titles: Ghost of Sparta, Godslayer, former servant of Ares, current destroyer of pantheons. There are warriors, and there are weapons. Kratos is the latter, forged, not born. Every scar on his body is a mark of betrayal, and every god he's killed is a name scratched off a personal ledger. He doesn't seek war, he embodies it. Rage isn't a symptom, it's his heartbeat. And if left unchecked, he doesn't just become dangerous, he becomes extinction with a heartbeat. He's not invulnerable, but you'd be forgiven for thinking he is. He's survived Olympus, killed immortals, torn apart reality, time, and death itself. Wields the blades of chaos, chained instruments that feel more like memories than weapons. Carries the Leviathan axe, a frost-forged artifact powered by loss and fury. Wears the Guardian shield, a tool of defense most forget. He has because Kratos rarely blocks. He ends fights before they need to be defended. He has strength that rivals Titans, reflexes faster than thought, endurance that breaks mortal understanding, and a willpower that once overcame Hades, fate, and himself. But physicality isn't the problem. Trajectory is. Kratos is a man trying to change. A father trying to unlearn centuries of wrath. But underneath that fatherhood is a god of war waiting to be triggered. He tries to contain it, to parent it. But if the world gives him a reason, if fate knocks on his door again, he will answer. Not with words, with blood. And when that happens, there are no safe gods, no safe cities, no safe worlds. I've already deployed mystic sensors near the realm gates. If the Norse or Olympian barriers shift, I'll know. Energy. Patterns from Kratos' realm are distinct. Deep, cold magic laced with echoes of old Greek rage. The moment he crosses into this plane, every ley line trembles. I've encoded those signals into Watchtower satellites. One flicker, and I'll have eyes. I do not intend to kill Kratos. That's arrogance. I intend to redirect him, delay him. When he's in control, he's not a threat. He's a weapon buried beneath a father's silence. But the moment someone he loves is harmed, the past returns. So I've studied Atreus, his son, not as a weakness, but as a guidepost. If Atreus believes his father can change, that belief can be weaponized. Not against Kratos. For him, a psychological failsafe. What do you think, Alfred?
If you're right, and this man has slain gods, then the plan must not just account for power, but purpose. Monsters attack. But men like this, they respond. And that response is often louder than the crime.
Exactly. That's why my contingency is based on narrative control. If Kratos is ever set on a path of destruction, I will release fabricated threats, illusions, of ancient enemies resurrected. Ares, Zeus, Odin, not to fool him permanently, just long enough to reroute his rage. Give him something else to fight while I prepare the real solution. I've constructed containment fields modeled after the Fates' threads. Magical structures looped through chronal anchors, capable of freezing movement for beings who've defied time. Inside that loop, Kratos will experience his choices again and again, not as torture, as reflection. If he escapes, I'll use combat-delaying tech, sonic dampeners keyed to his hearing, frost-based pressure fields to match the Leviathan's nature, gravitational pulses to disorient and stall. If that fails, I'll confront him directly. Not as an enemy, as a wall. Words will be my weapon, not to shame him, to remind him who he's become. Kratos responds to strength, but he listens to those who've earned his respect. If he sees me standing between him and the world, he may pause long enough to remember why he fights now. That pause is my victory. Should I fall, I've programmed a message for Atreus, a detailed breakdown of his father's descent, his triggers, and the steps to reach him. If anyone can stop Kratos, it's the boy who calls him father, not through strength, through memory. Kratos is not a villain. He is a history lesson soaked in blood, walking forward with guilt on his back and redemption in his grip. But if that grip loosens, if the wrong person dies, if the cycle of loss begins again, he won't burn the world for justice. He'll do it because justice no longer matters to him. That's why I prepare. Because if the god of war wakes up again, I need to be the first thing he sees. End file.